Hi, everyone. My name is Emmeline Kaser, and I'm a digital archivist here at Cornell University Library. And today I'm going to be presenting my lightning talk, Oats Instead of Mammoths, telling compelling stories about sustainability and maintenance. In 1986, author Ursula K. Guin published her essay, The Carrier Bag Theory of Fiction, in which she remarked on the dominance of the mammoth hunter narrative of human history. She pointed out that even though early humans survived largely on gathered food like wild oats, our cultural imagination overlooks this reality in favor of the more exciting story that humans survived by hunting mammoths. To quote, "It's hard to tell a really gripping tale of how I wrestled a wild oat seed from its husk, and then another, and then another, and then another. It cannot compete with how I thrust my spear deep into the titanic hairy flank while Oob, impaled on one huge sweeping tusk, writhed screaming." Le Guin's essay examines the dominant narratives of hunting, conquest, and rise to power, and her own desire to tell the story of other important human activities like gathering, weaving, and caregiving, which are sustaining and have been essential to our survival. But, as she points out, they lack the inherent excitement of the mammoth hunt. Despite their value, it can be challenging to tell these stories in an equally compelling way. Exciting new projects, experiments with cutting edge tools, these kinds of big innovations are the mammoths of our field. They're large contributions and they make for compelling stories, and they can also serve as key catalysts for funding and career advancement. They're also really energizing. Many of us are in this corner of archives and library world because we're interested in new tools and new methodologies. But in 2025, many memory institutions in the US are facing a reduction in resources for this kind of innovation. We may no longer have the material means, the staff, the time, or the energy to go take down a mammoth. As memory workers, preservationists, and stewards of cultural heritage, most of what we do involves gathering proverbial oats. Sustainability is an ever-present concept in our work. It's in the background of every new workflow design, planning meeting, and tool assessment, and it can apply to a plethora of different forces that impact our work, from staff labor to institutional funding to the global climate. There are artists out there who can give us the language to talk about this kind of work, the essential, often invisible labor that demonstrates care for both the collections and human beings in our environment. They offer a critical reframing of dominant narratives to center care, sustainability, and group resilience. One of these artists is Merle Latterman Euclides, who created the concept of maintenance art in 1969. At the time, Euclides was a new mother trying to balance the gender demands of her domestic life with her creative practice. Her Manifesto for Maintenance Art 1969 suggested an exhibition plan and conceptual framework for unifying those worlds. She would spend the duration of each exhibit maintaining the condition and cleanliness of the public gallery. In front of an audience of museum goers, she would perform domestic tasks like mopping and dusting, things she did inside her family home, but reframed in her manifesto as floor paintings and dust works. This centered the essential and often invisible labor of maintenance as the artwork itself. The conceptual foundation of her manifesto also includes an interesting two-system framework. The development system, which is defined by excitement, newness, pure individual creation, and the maintenance system, which functions to preserve, sustain, protect progress, and renew the excitement. As digital archivists and preservationists, we think about and improve on the maintenance system all the time, whether that's making sure we have the resources to keep our processes and infrastructure going, planning ahead for potential problems, and considering the environmental impact of our decisions. I think we can learn a lot from the way these women center the work of maintenance and sustainability as the artistic subject, and how they found compelling ways to draw attention to the value of that kind of work. Creative solutions for sustainability are still innovations. Sustainability demonstrates care for both the collections and human beings in our environment, and I think it's important to bring this work to the forefront. And now may be an especially opportune time when our development system has slowed. Let's reframe our mopping as floor painting. Let's see if we can renew the excitement. Let's see how many oats we've gathered and where we can gather more. This is an incomplete list of the kinds of activities I see as maintaining, caring, and sustaining within our work. In the words of Le Guin, I said it was hard to make a gripping tale of how we wrestled the wild oats from their husks. I didn't say it was impossible. Thank you for listening.